IVM.
Hi, welcome to another episode of a show about crypto. When I started this podcast, I knew I was in for a wild and what would sometimes be an unpredictable and strange journey. I knew I was going to meet very interesting and diverse cast of characters, but I don't think I could have predicted just how wild or how odd this journey was going to get, which kind of brings me neatly to my guest for today's episode, where I want to find out about how I can be an educated investor when it comes to evaluating coins and evaluating ICOs and all of those things. My guest today is, if I'm not mistaken, spent a large part of the 2020 lockdown making educational videos in regional languages so that kids could access them in places even during the lockdown. My guest today has also built 2 dapps on the Polygon network and has managed millions of dollars worth of money and transactions. And my guest today is 13 years old. My guest, hi, Gajesh Naik is my guest today. And before we get into anything else, 13, in case anybody's wondering, that was not a mistake. I did not mispronounce 30. He's 13 years old. And that's important because I feel like before we get into any further conversation, Gajesh, I have to ask, and I think my listeners are also going to want to know, how did you get here? What's going on? Explain yourself.
Sure. So I got into crypto last year in October. I attended a webinar on basics of blockchain and Bitcoin. And from there, I started studying about different cryptocurrencies. I got to know about Ethereum. And from there, in Ethereum, there are many dapps. And after some time, I got to know about there was a programming language called Solidity for building on Ethereum. And then I started learning it. And then I did freelancing for 3 months, and on April 28th, I launched my own project called Gaj Finance, which was previously known as Polygaj.
Just like that. Easy peasy. Very casual. I like how you just rolled that off your tongue. That's just the most natural thing for a 13-year-old to do. I understood about 45% of what you said. I think that's an incredible journey, which is why I feel like it's amazing that I am sitting here to ask you, Gajesh, because this is something that you do and it's something that you understand. This is a wild world. This is a wild, volatile, new world. I think we can agree to that. So as an investor coming in, not even as an investor, as someone approaching this world, whether they want to invest 5 rupees, whether they want to invest 50 rupees, whether they want to invest 500 rupees, my first question is, how do you evaluate a coin? In a sea of coins, I could open CoinSwitch right now and there's so many coins listed. Unlike, say, the stock market, where I can go back and look at, for most companies, fundamentals. I can look at the market fundamentals over years and years and years and do all of that reading. What I want to know over the course of this episode from you, if you can help me with this, is how do we make those evaluations for coins? So I'm new to this game. Let's say I know what Bitcoin is because everybody's heard of Bitcoin. But now I can't really buy that much Bitcoin because the price of Bitcoin is what the price of Bitcoin is. And I want to get into this market. What do I do? How do I go about looking at coins and going, okay, Ethereum and Cardano and Solana and all of those things? And what do I do?
So the best thing to find these coins is just go to CoinMarketCap and there will be all the coins sorted by their market caps. Don't really invest directly in a coin. Just pick a coin, open their website, or first at least read Bitcoin white paper. Even if you don't understand it, just read it. Then then you can go to different projects and then just study them for at least 1 month. Just study about these coins and then think of investing in these coins. So if you feel they have potential, go for it. Don't just buy a coin because one guy is talking that Shiba will go to 1 rupees, which is never possible. So don't just buy because one guy wearing a coat is just telling just buy that coin.
Right. So that's true because there are a lot of people who buy on the basis of hype or on the basis of FOMOing in because coins are doing wild and wonderful things on graphs and because it's 4 o'clock in the morning and Elon Musk said something, which brings me to my next question of what to carry on from what you said. What is a white paper? And once I read that white paper, what am I looking for in that white paper? And also, does the team, are we also looking at the actual team behind the coin? Are we evaluating that as well? Aside from the project, are we evaluating the people as well?
Yeah, so white paper is just a documentation of what the project is about. Like some people call it like just docs, some people call it white paper. I think someone just called it like blue paper or yellow paper somewhere.
Right.
They're just docs like explaining the whole project. Like checking the team is the most important part and the reputation in the market. So yeah.
How would I go about researching a team? Is it a red flag if I go to the coin and if I go to the coin's website and I don't find too many details about the team, even if there is a certain amount of hype in the market? Because we have in the last few weeks or months seen examples of certain DeFi schemes or people just waking up in the morning and finding out that the people behind the platform have just vanished. So how do you avoid that?
Yeah, that's actually a risk when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Some coins like the team is completely anon, and like when it's like a low cap coin, it's completely a gamble if you are investing in a like anon project where the team is like you don't know the team. And like when it comes to high caps and mid caps, like it depends on who backs a project. Like example, Sushi Swap, it's completely like most of the team is anon. But it is backed by really big VCs, big investors.
So Satoshi is anonymous, and we've got Bitcoin. Okay, then so I guess my next question then would be, if we have this new economy, or if we have these coins where in certain cases the backers or the promoters or the creators of these coins are anonymous, where is then in the case of something like Bitcoin, where's the trust in the product coming from if it's not coming from a founder, right? Because then it has to come from somewhere. Like, okay, I might not know the founders or the people behind some of my preferred companies or the currencies that I invest in, but I know what fundamentally they do, and the trust is established on the basis of either the way the product works or what the currency does. So in this case, if it's not the founder, and the biggest coin, Bitcoin, is we don't know the founder, where's the trust coming from? Where's the trust that allows for trading coming from?
Yeah. So this is like one part which I missed in like the last question. So it is that sometimes like there are two types when you judge a anon project. One is when there is excess of your funds or excess of something. So if like tomorrow, if like a project's team is nowhere, then like if the project can like work on its own mechanism, like that's the question. So like Satoshi made the system like anybody, like if he's not there, someone else can still run the system.
Ooh, Batman is a symbol, not a person. Now I get it. This is the equivalent of Krish Ek Soch hai, basically, where you're saying it's not about the person, it's about the system and the system's ability to carry itself forward.
Yeah, exactly. If the team is anon and the system is like can run on itself, then there is like a low risk of investing in a project. And the second thing is like if a team owns like most of the part and the team is most of the tokens, then and if the team is doxed, then it's kind of a problem. So I think Satoshi
for the casual listener or viewer, explain doxing of a team to people, because doxing on the internet is a term that I understanding is essentially giving up people's identities or throwing light on them or throwing light on personal details that they don't want made public. So how does the doxing of a team in the crypto space specifically hurt them?
Yeah, doxed means actually like just if the person is public to the community. Like example is Vitalik is public.
Okay, so that's one aspect of it. You check out the fundamentals of the project, you check out the founders. If you don't know who the founders are, you trust the fact that the system runs itself and will not disappear overnight. Next question, which is a lot of people who come in, especially when they're putting money into places, numbers. When we're looking at numbers, when we're talking about things like market capitalization, trading volume, etc., what are the numbers that I want to look at to see the matrix in a way, to make an educated investment or to make an educated guess? A, what numbers am I looking at? B, how am I reading those numbers? Because so far in the limited time that I've spent in the crypto space, I understand that the numbers in crypto don't necessarily move or work the same way that numbers in the stock market do. in terms of just volatility and the way things go. So how does one read numbers, and what numbers does one read in this system?
Yeah. So first one is market cap. Then and like market cap can be calculated by total number of tokens in circulation by the price.
Okay.
So next is token supply. Like, is it an inflationary token? Does it have a max cap? And also next is, so for example of a non-max cap token is, okay, let's give an example of max cap token is Bitcoin. So it has like not more than 21 million Bitcoin will be there in circulation.
Right. Never more than that. 21 is the cap, and that's it.
Yeah. So that's one point. And another point is, volume is also important.
So you have coins and tokens that already exist in the market. So there's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, there's all of those things that I can go out and buy. But then there's also these initial coin offerings or ICOs, where people are coming up with new projects and they want people to invest in them. But again, anybody logically could like create an ICO or launch an ICO. So how do you critically evaluate a new offering when there obviously isn't as much data as there would be on existing coins like Bitcoin or Ethereum, so that you don't just fall prey to a scam?
Yeah. So first, just check their backers. So which VC is backing them, or like which angel investor is backing them.
Okay.
And then is like on which platform it is doing their ICO. So it is like normally now people like don't call it ICO, and now they call it IDO. Normal.
Okay.
Yeah. And
what does IDO stand for?
Initial tax offering.
Okay.
Yeah. So for example, like if it's if the IDO is on a like very reputed IDO platform like Polkastarter, then like it has like a Polkastarter has like a really long process of evaluating a coin, like a project, like if they want to like get their IDO on their platform.
Right.
Yeah. So that's one point. And yeah, like the below points, like reading the docs, checking the team.
Okay, that's fantastic. And now this is to sum it all up. Now I've done the reading. I've read up on my coins. I've read the white paper. I've studied the backers. I've done all the math. I've looked at the graphs. I've done all of that. But what's the smart way to enter this market for the first time? What advice would you give to somebody who's just putting their toe in the water? To that end, in fact, would you say just put a toe in the water or jump in?
For a first timer, like just invest a small amount. That's the main point. Like, and invest amount which you can afford to lose. That's the common advice like most of the people give. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like sound advice. So Gajesh, there's so many different tokens out there, different kinds of tokens out there. Please walk me through them, at least in terms of the differences between them and what I should be looking out for, because it can get confusing.
First is Bitcoin, the largest cryptocurrency. Then is Ethereum, and I think recently Cardano became the third largest cryptocurrency. I want to understand the differences between, and if there's somebody who's confused about all of the tokens that are out there, what is something that they can look out for? Yeah, the Bitcoin is the place where Bitcoin, people usually call it store of value. How did you sort of get into the dApp ecosystem and specifically the Polygon network? What was it that made you choose that? Sure. So Polygon was one of the the gas fees were really cheap, and anybody can deploy a smart contract with $0.01. Compared to Ethereum, if I would have deployed the same smart contract, it would have took about $100. All right. Fantastic. So yeah, Gajesh, same question, which is basically you're on the Polygon network. You're not on what I guess some would consider the standard, which is Ethereum. You've chosen this. I'm curious to understand how you made that decision and then that leap of faith, I'd say, to do that. And what are the key differences between the two? Sure. So Polygon, I chose it because it had a really fast block speed. And also the gas fees were very cheap compared to Ethereum. Could you explain gas fees for those in the back of the class, please? So the gas fees are kind of remuneration for the miner or a validator to like decode your transaction.
Okay, so Ethereum's gas fees way higher than Polygon's gas fees.
Yeah.
Great. So that's one difference.
And the block speed is faster than Ethereum. I think in Ethereum it takes about 1 minute if your gas fees are like okay. Then on Ethereum it takes like about 1 minute or 30 seconds.
Okay.
And on Polygon it is 2 seconds.
Oh wow. And in your opinion, where to from here? Like, what is the future? What is next for the market, and what is next for you?
Sure. So like I'm really not like I am not tracking the market right now. Like before, like when I like before I launched Gaj Finance, I had like a ton of time to like research about the market and also the new tokens which come in the market. So now like in my terms, I will be like working on both my projects, Gaj Finance and Stable Gaj, which is now getting rebranded to Daksh. Yeah, and like if I go deeper into my in both of my project, like I'm Gaj Finance, I'm building a DeFi and NFT ecosystem.
Okay.
And on Daksh side, I'm like more into getting into like prediction markets and no loss lottery.
Wow, that's fantastic. What advice do you have for other young developers who might be looking to get into the space?
Just go to Crypto Zombies. Yeah, that's the best place to like learn Solidity.
Okay.
And like it is like very easy to learn, and like I learned Solidity I think in like 1 month.
Okay.
Then I started learning Web3.js, which was a pretty tough task. So it took like 2 months, and then like more like just spend some time doing some projects on like Upwork or Fiverr.
So basically just learn your stuff before you get in there.
Yeah.
That's fair. Now, Gajesh said it took him a month, but I've spent about 30 minutes in conversation with Gajesh, so I would not take his timelines to be normal timelines because, let's face it, guy's building apps at 13. So it might take you more than a few months if you're like me, but that's no reason to not try. On that note, Gajesh, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you good luck with everything, and I look forward to having many more chats with you as this river continues to wind and grow, I guess, over the next few years.
Sure.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. And this has been a show about crypto. And we hope you feel like you now know more about what to look out for if you're considering investing in coins, if you're considering just understanding the crypto space. And I hope you feel that way, but I certainly feel like I do. So thank you for listening. That's been our episode, and we will see you next week.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. We have a new collaboration with Hunts Magazine, and there's a show called Hunts Wani that's come out from that. Treat yourself to Sarita Panti's beautiful ghazal Dar Raha Hai Muskurane Se Koi, voiced by Jashne Kalam artist Shashwata Sharma. On Postcards from Nowhere, discover how two different systems on writing were developed, one in Kashmir and one in Kerala. Kunal and Shivani Rajput talk about fitness, entrepreneurship, sibling rivalry, and share their Raksha Bandhan plans on Agla Station Adulthood. Dr. Rajiv and Manik Deshmukh share the love story behind their 52-year marriage on Marathi Kirkitun. Chuck tells us about 5 lessons he's learned on The Habit Coach with Ashton. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any other show for that matter, please do tell a friend. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week, Seat, Cred, Bank of Baroda, Quarter, CoinSwitch, Kuber, and Intuit India. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Come learn and experience the ABCDs of being queer with me, Shunetro,
and me, Farhad,
on our show, Gay BCD.
The two of us take you through our stories and experiences of being gay men in the city of Mumbai and have candid
and sometimes downright scandalous
conversations about sexuality, gay culture, and everything in between.
Catch new episodes of Gay BCD every Tuesday on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get all your podcasts from.